Hi guys, welcome back for another Star Trek Starships collection review. At long last, I have before me issue 51 and 52. I'm going to do 52 first because I really been looking forward to this one, the USS Centaur NCC-42043. And we have the magazine here, and I have the ship here, so we'll put this aside and get to it. So, usual specification page showing you how to mount the model onto the stand and some basic information. Okay, in service in the 24th century, 210 meters long, a top speed of warp 9.6, and it has 9 Type 9 phaser emitters and 2 photon torpedo launchers, and its captain is Charlie Reynolds. You turn the page and you have a very cool rendering of the ship there, CGI of course, which is for a change a lot different than the one seen on the cover, which is also a pretty amazing image. I like this one more, I think. As well as some basic text about the ship. And turning the page, we have more CGI versions of the ship, as well as more text about it. And the centerfold page showing you where everything is and where the various components are and so on. And here's a section on the designing of the USS Centaur, which I found to be very interesting because originally it started out as a kit bash model, a hybrid of Excelsior class and Miranda class parts, model parts that is. And the designer, Adam Buckner, was in Spain on a trip, and he came across a young boy who was a Star Trek fan, and he promised him that when he got home he would build him a ship. So he built the Centaur, and the studio execs or producers liked it, and they decided that they wanted to use it in an episode of Deep Space Nine. And so they kind of commandeered the ship, and then hence we have the Centaur. But as a result, he realized that he still had a promise to keep. So he built another Centaur model and sent it to this young boy in Spain, who I believe now should be an adult. So I would hope that he would still have the model, probably knowing its significance is definitely a one-of-a-kind item. So anyway, yeah, this section talks about that as well as some other basic facts and more screenshots of the model itself and some more information. Interestingly to note, this is one of the last physical models to be used on the show, as from here on out, I guess in the series, most of the space battles and stuff like that were all CGI. And here's a section which I found to be very interesting. Of course, most of this I knew. It's about the Deep Space Nine and taking Star Trek to war, which was a first time. This was the first time in probably in all of Star Trek where we had a serialized arc, meaning that whatever happened in one episode had dire consequences from one episode to the next until the very end. So this talks about that and taking Star Trek down a darker path, which ultimately I think was the beginning of the darkness that is in cinema these days. And more text about that, as well as some images of Captain Sisko, along with the Romulan Senator Vreenak from the episode In the Pale Moonlight, which is probably one of Deep Space Nine's best episodes on the basis of morality. And here we have the on-screen page with a nice CG rendering and a screen cap from the beginning of A Time to Stand, which is the beginning of the first episode of DS9's 6th season. This takes place a few months after the end of A Call to Arms from the 5th season, where the combined Federation Klingon fleet engages the Dominion, thus starting the Dominion War. And also at the bottom, you have a picture of Barry Jenner himself, also known as affectionately as Admiral William Ross, who will later be seen throughout the rest of the series. And on the back, the usual image of the ship, which is cool. So that's the magazine, which I think was a very good one this time around. So we'll put that aside and get to the model itself. As usual, it's in the Star Trek fonted logoed box. So let's get the thing out and take a look. And here it is. My initial impression of it is that it's awesome. The detail is spectacular, really exquisite. The paint looks amazing. Looking at this, I can tell right off the back that the saucer section is definitely Excelsior class, and the roll bar, or in this case, nacelle struts, are definitely from the Miranda class, as well as this torpedo launcher deflector hidden in there somewhere, slash secondary hull. That's definitely from the Miranda class. And the nacelles are obviously Excelsior class, slightly modified to be a little bit thinner and definitely a little bit longer. I'm very happy to have this model. I've wanted it since I was a kid, since I saw the episode. And yes, it's a model and a ship that has never ever been made before, so it's definitely cool to finally have it. And you can see the registry on the underside of the primary hull there. It's also, of course, on the top. The camera doesn't focus, but you can still see it. The registry is also on the end of the warp nacelles there, and on the other side, which is cool. The paint on this looks amazing. And there's the rear view, forward, the underside, and I'm actually pleased with this model. There's no dents or paint chippings or anything like that, so it's really cool. The detail is pretty amazing. I mean, just look at that. They really did a good job with this one. I was really looking forward to this model. Unfortunately, some of that joy was a bit hampered by the fact that I've been waiting for over a month for it, mostly due to Eaglemoss's backlog, due to the data migration from the UK here to the US. And it took a little bit of fighting to get it, but I finally got it, and from what I understand, I will be receiving issues 53 and 54 in about a week or so. So hopefully that all goes according to plan and I'll have it. So I'll be happy to share that with you when that time comes. So yeah, this model is amazing. A worthy compliment to the Federation Starfleet fleet that we have now. Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty cool. Look at that. I mean, it's just great. A lot of people have pointed out that Eaglemoss does a fantastic job on the non-hero ships, which I tend to agree with. But for me, the best things about this collection are not the hero ships like a lot of other people. Yes, I love Voyager and the Enterprises and all that kind of stuff. But I love some of the less known ships. I've always loved things like the Centaur or the Akira class or the Prometheus and so on and so forth. The Xindi ship and some of the Enterprise era Klingon ships and the Romulan ships. I'm not a big fan of the Vulcan ships, but the Cardassian Hideki class and the runabout with the roll bar, which is something that I wanted, and so on and so forth. So really getting some really nice models and some nice ships from the Star Trek series, all of them, and movies. So this is really cool to have now. And there it is. And as usual, it comes with a stand that bears the name and registry on the bottom. The saucer section is primarily composed of metal, and the torpedo launcher and the nacelles are obviously plastic. So yeah, it has a little bit of weight to it, a really nice model. And so yeah, next time I will be sharing with you issue 51, which, as I said earlier, I did backwards. The Hirogen warship, or as the representative from the Eaglemoss Customer Service Center here in the US called it, the Hydrogen warship, which I almost laughed at it. Anyway, so that's it, and thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all on the flip side. Live long and prosper.